While many nations remain closed to international tourists, some countries have retained a liberal attitude towards letting foreigners into the country. I wanted to give you some of the most open places in the world today. The first country I wanted to discuss with you in today's video is Colombia. You can travel to Colombia assuming you're fully vaccinated and comply with all entry requirements. So this is a contingency, right? If you're unvaccinated, you cannot travel to Colombia at this moment in time, at least not as a tourist. Should you hold a long-term visa like a residence permit, a spousal visa, and of course if you're a citizen of Colombia, then you can come into the country despite of your vaccination status. Colombia is a place that's been very open, been very liberal towards foreigners. And if you want to come in as a tourist, you're being given 90 days and your visa can be extended for another 90 days. All you need to do is file your petition online. It's a pretty quick and easy process, doesn't take a whole lot of time, and by doing so, you could remain in the country for a total of 180 days. A very liberal visa policy indeed. One of the good things about Colombia is that the country has very good weather. You know, if you want to stay in Medellin or Bogota, Bogota is definitely a bit on the colder side, especially at night. Medellin has very pleasant, very mild climate throughout the year. And if you want to come to Colombia, you have obviously Bogota, you have Medellin. If you want the tropical climate, if you want the beach lifestyle, then Cartagena is probably where you want to go. Another place that I wanted to discuss with you today is Thailand. The country located in the Far East is again welcoming tourists from all countries, and you can get into Thailand without quarantine. The Test and Go program will be continued on February 1st, which is today. Thailand had temporarily suspended the Test and Go program amid Omicron fears. Now that the country, now that the government realized that this variant is not as deadly, not as vicious, not as bad as it initially sounded, you know, the government has decided to open its borders to international tourists, allowing them to come in without quarantine. Of course, you can also come into Thailand via the Phuket Sandbox program. This program has been open despite of development of Omicron, so you can come into the sandbox, stay there, and once you have stayed for enough days, it's 7 days that you need to stay on the island, and assuming you tested negative, you're welcome to travel throughout whole Thailand. But now that the Test and Go program is intact, you are welcome to fly into Bangkok and pretty much move freely once you tested negative upon arrival. Thailand is a great country. It's one of the cheapest countries for digital nomads. It offers great climate. It offers a very vibrant dating scene, a vibrant nightlife. Thailand has a lot to offer. Thailand is a really good hand that you may want to play. For those looking to stay in Thailand for the long term, the question is, what options do you have? Now, you can apply for the Thai Elite visa. It's not one of the cheapest visa programs that currently exist. It's going to cost you 600,000 Thai baht, which translates to about $18,000. And by purchasing the Thai Elite visa, the standard visa, you know, you get 5 years in the country. It does not allow you to work in Thailand, so you cannot go out there and work for a company while you're in the country. However, it is a way for a digital entrepreneur, it is a way for an expat to stay in Asia, to stay in Thailand, to live in Thailand, and not have to worry about leaving the country. There is a contingency, and like I said, one of the contingencies is that you simply cannot work for a Thai company. Another contingency is that you extend it, you know, you have to go to the immigration office every so often, and that needs to be done a couple times a year. In case you want something more solid, something more stable, you can consider any of the smart visas. There's the Smart Executive, the Smart Investor, the Smart Talent, all kinds of different smart visas. If you are some kind of a tech entrepreneur who wants to reside in Thailand while building a tech company at the same time, you can consider the Smart Startup visa. This is specifically designed for tech entrepreneurs. In order for you to qualify, you need to attend an incubation program, and very possibly you need a Thai partner. It really depends on a couple of factors, but this would be one of the ways for you to get an initial, I think, 1 or 2 years, and obviously the visa can be extended later on. If you're some kind of a high net worth individual, if you are a millionaire, then you may consider the Thai investor visa. As you can probably guess, it requires a substantial investment into Thailand for the government to issue this visa. Another country I wanted to discuss with you is Turkey, a country that we haven't really discussed too much on this channel yet. The country, located on the edge of Europe, is open to international tourists. In case you're fully vaccinated or tested negative prior to departure, you're welcome to arrive in Turkey. There's no quarantine needed. Citizens of the United States, Canada, Australia, and the European Union are allowed to remain in Turkey for 90 days within a 180-day period. This is what you can do to go to Turkey, check out the country, and not have to worry about anything else until you're really certain that you want to spend more time in the country. In case you want to become a resident or a citizen of Turkey, you have a couple of options. You may consider citizenship through investment, which requires a $200,000 investment into real estate. Another option would be to invest $500,000 into government-approved bonds, or deposit $500,000 into a Turkish bank account. And of course, Mexico is a country that we really need to discuss because Mexico has retained a very liberal stance towards allowing foreigners to enter the country. Mexico has been fairly liberal, not just when it comes to allowing foreigners into the country, but also when it comes to COVID restrictions, lockdowns. Yes, the country was doing lockdowns and restrictions at some point, but the country decided that this is not the way forward. It's not the way the country wants to deal with this pandemic, and a lot of foreigners have moved to Mexico because of the pandemic. So Mexico has really used the past 22 months to create a great image for the country. You know, the country has generated more tourists than ever. The country has generated more new residents than ever. The country has raised more money than ever. And flights have actually become cheaper in Latin America as a result of Mexico's actions. There's obviously other countries in Latin America that have also decided that we're not going to destroy businesses. We're not going through this with lockdowns and tons of restrictions, and those countries have prospered. If you want to come to Mexico as a tourist, there is a chance that you can get a tourist visa for 180 days. This is no guarantee, and a lot of people had to learn this the hard way. I've personally entered Mexico twice over the past 3 months, and I was given 180 days every single time. I'm not saying that this is standard. I'm not saying that this is the norm. If you want to come to Mexico, you do need to think about what's going to happen if you don't get 180 days. You know, of course, if you don't want to remain in the country for this long, and you know, if 90 days is enough for you, then chances are you're going to get that anyway. One thing you have to consider is to have an onboard ticket or a return ticket, because Mexican immigration may ask you for it. And based on the date of your return ticket, based on the date of your onboard ticket, the immigration officer will give you a specific amount of days. Are there any other countries that I have forgotten to discuss with you in today's video? Where are you located in the world today? Leave a comment below and let us know. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm uploading new videos on travel updates, visas, residence permits, and digital nomad locations several times a week right now. I highly recommend that you grab a free copy of my ebook, Nomad Elite, The Insider's Guide to Retaining a Life of Freedom. All you need to do is click on the link below the video. And if you got some more time left, check out these videos. Thank you for watching.